already fifth video.
That's crazy.
Crazy, and we're not even halfway through the track. Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Wehrseifen. Welcome to the fifth video, yes, of our track walk series of 2023. Hope you're enjoying it so far, and also for the older audience that you're enjoying the difference, because the first time I shot it on my phone, then on the GoPro, and now we have quite a professional camera setup, and also, well, Adrian, of course, and also some drone shots. Yeah, well, so far we've arrived into Wehrseifen, so we're gonna talk to you about some interesting, important points, things that you will not notice while driving, where to brake, where to turn in, especially since the track will be open soon on the 19th of March, and then you can all drive here on the world's most beautiful racetrack, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Well, Wehrseifen, what should I tell you about this? This is actually a very tricky corner, because after going all the way downhill from Kallenhart towards Miss, etc., you will stress out your brakes quite a lot, especially as a beginner driver who does not know where that you don't have to brake a lot. And this corner is quite tricky because it's actually a double corner. It's a combination of corners. So first you have here a hard braking zone. You need to let go of the brakes, turn into the right curbstone, and already go on the brakes again towards the tire wall on the right, to then make the tight corner into the left side, which is also the slowest corner of the track. I believe less than 80 kilometers per hour is the average turn-in speed, to then proceed to the lowest section of the track, lowest point of the track, namely Breidscheid. But this is also one of the most photogenic sections of the track, and we can see that this year one of the changes that they've done to it, namely got rid of many trees or like hedges and vegetation from here, so you can actually look into it. It's very nice because usually you end up here on the curb. You can see also the skid marks from many cars, and you go towards the right side, so stay longer on the right, and actually from here you can look into the corner. It could be beneficial, of course, if there is any danger to spot, but another thing that you see from here, but you don't have time to pay attention to, is actually another section of the track over there, X-Mühle. Yep, that's how far you can look into it, and you can see also how steep it is. That part over there has also the steepest incline, which will be probably the end of today's video, so stay tuned till we walk over there. But first, I'm going to take my yearly recurring picture over here in Wehrseifen. And you will see that first time I did it, I had quite a fat face. Then I lost quite a lot of weight. And now last year I had my double jaw surgery, where they fixed the position of my jaws. And I think it looks a bit different as well. So here are some comparison shots. And again, another reason to watch out, even if you decide to do a secret track walk, because there's always could be traffic even when the track is closed. Anyway, let's not get too much sidetracked. Once you end up here roughly in the middle, unless it's wet, then you would usually run a bit wider to avoid the dry line, going tight to the left curbstone to then proceed to the right curb already. So have the right curb actually in your mind when you're making the turn-in, because 4 or 5 years ago one of our drivers, or one of the customers that rented an M4 from us, went a bit too wide on the right curb and tore off the oil cooler, leaked the oil, and well, therefore the engine got destroyed, unfortunately. Actually, interestingly enough, well, it is high, but it looks like some changes have been done to it. It doesn't look as similar as it used to be, but then again, it's not that I walk here all the time, always. But yeah, as you can see, this is also an extremely high curbstone. Unlike many racetracks, you should stay off most of the curbs. They just like there to indicate the track edge. Especially here, you can see here really how steep it is. Yep. And from here, you aim towards the 90 sign. Wait, is that a speed limit sign? Yep. Yep, it is indeed a speed limit sign. Now, the older audience knows what I am going to talk about in a bit. Nürburgring Nordschleife during the public sessions, Touristenfahrt, it is a public road. This means the public road rules apply. This means sometimes there are speed limits. Speed limits on a racetrack, public road, difficult ambiguation, description. The reason, say it simply, the reason why the speed limit is here is actually we are approaching the second entrance point, or actually since the last 2 years it's only the exit, namely Breidscheid. So here you have the 90 sign, further down you have a 70 sign, and later on you have even 50 sign. Now, although it's not an access point anymore for the drivers, it's still an access point for the emergency vehicles this year, so such as recovery trucks, ambulances. 2 years ago, someone managed to smash into an ambulance that was exiting the track on the way to emergency. And since it's a public road and rules apply, and the same rules that when you have an accident, police will come here, investigate, and will judge you based on your behavior or misbehavior, and will forward it to your insurance, explaining to your insurance how you crash into an ambulance on a racetrack. It's gonna be tough. So the speed limit is there. It's not officially enforced, so you're not going to be like, there's no one going to be standing here with a laser gun and watching how fast you're going. But just be cautious, slow down, keep your eyes on the road and see like, okay, is there nothing coming out of the entrance and exit? Then you can proceed going faster. And for the same reason, it's not an entrance anymore during public days, because there were too many accidents. The speed differences were just too big. So for the sake of your own safety and of those others, proceed with caution here, especially since you're approaching the only concrete wall on the track that can lead to a very nasty accident. And since it's the lowest point of the track, meaning with all the downhill braking zones, your brakes will suffer quite a lot if you not have an upgraded braking system. So be cautious. And yeah, just one more final thing I can tell you when it comes to driving. Here you have a very nice straight line, and once the line will go to the left slightly, you can make the turn in towards the right curbstone and already start braking towards Breidscheid. So here you can see, after the tarmac transition, the line is going slightly to the left. From a car perspective, it's actually a lot better visible. But anyway, you see here also the turning point dot, where it's convenient to start steering in towards the edge of the right curbstone. And actually pretty much then already it's good to go on the brakes, to make sure that in case your brakes give up, that you still have a bit more of a braking distance or rolling out distance. Because otherwise, well, as mentioned, wall of champions. And here we had already quite some situations earlier this year with braking. Fuck. What's up with the brakes? Arriving downhill and braking in a straight line, and over there we can see another turning point dot reference point. And also here you see the sign that says that the exit of Breidscheid is closed. Anyway, the dot is a good reference point for turning towards the left curbstone that we cannot see at this point due to all the construction works over there, but trust me, it is there. Unless it is wet, then in case of wet, stay on the outside, stay on the right, aim for the graffiti, use graffiti as your reference point, because this means on the dry days, this is not where the cars are driving, so do not leave a layer of rubber there, so in the wet, it is extra grippy there. And this brown wall over here is the so-called Wall of Champions. It is the only concrete wall on the whole of the track. Now you might ask the question like, why would you put a concrete wall on a racetrack? Is that not dangerous? Well, the thing is, underneath is the public road. So it's actually bridge above the public road. So if you would send it flat out, your brakes will give up. Well, I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. Well, you will not crash a car into the bridge. You will actually go over the bridge onto the public road with significantly harder consequences. Moreover, speaking of the speed limit that I told you before, the reason for that is that the Breidscheid entrance and exit is over there, or the access point for the emergency services. And as you can see, coming out from there, this is already a blind corner. So if you do not see the emergency service coming in or out of it, and you're just going full send, more than 50, I would say more than 100 kilometers per hour, it might be tricky, especially if your brakes are already under stress. So always be cautious when you approach this corner. Make sure that you look into it, far into the corner, to make sure that there is no emergency service coming in or out of the safety pocket over there, or the exit. And then after that, feel free to floor it. And here's the actual sign that indicates the end of speed limits, the same that you will find on German autobahns, so this means you can proceed going here. One interesting point that I want to point out and mention to you, so this is the entrance exit, and it's also at the same time the lowest section, the lowest point of the track, namely 320 meters above sea level. The highest point is around 622 or so, 620 meters above sea level. So that's 300 meters of elevation difference. Now in the past, if you would enter the track from this section, there is a nice reminder here to you showing that this is a one-way street, that you should go to the right direction, and if you turn in there, there's actually a stop sign like, hey, wrong direction, do not go there. And then you go towards Exmühle, which is also the highest, it has the highest gradient of a climb, I believe maybe 27% even. Got a bit enthusiastic there, it's actually just 20% according to the first page I could find on Google, but seems legit. 20% climb, that is very steep, well, the steepest climb. Here we have a nice reference point for the turn-in towards the right curbstone, and after that you can aim towards the end of the left sound barrier, so like this sound wall, to make sure that the local citizens of Adenau, the biggest village slash city, I would say village of the area, are protected from your exhausts. Yeah, so towards the end, and then you have a long straight towards Lauda Links, and I think it's something that we will cover in the future video, because now it's already almost getting dark and we need to get off the track, and the rest we'll film another day. But here again you can see something that you probably will not see, is how steep it is. Again, from here you can also see the Wehrseifen section, which was the start of today's video. Whew, I'm already getting out of breath, that's how steep it is. But yeah, try talk and climb at the same time. One last final point that I want to say, because of all these camber differences, it's important to stay on the left side for a long time, because especially with rear-wheel driven cars, your car gets unsettled, and yeah, you might become one of the reasons why there is a new barrier on the right, because the car goes like this and in there. Okay, that's kind of it. I'm gonna get dinner, catch some breath. Hope you guys enjoyed today's part of the track walk. Look forward to seeing you in one of the upcoming ones, where we'll proceed with the rest of the lap of Nürburgring Nordschleife. And most importantly, hope to see you here at the ring, driving the track yourself, or spectating is also good enough with all the racing series that are happening here. So yeah, long story short, looking forward to seeing you here at the ring this season. Bye!